we have the market trading back into the last dance, rejecting off of the midpoint of this wick. What we want to see is if it's going Alright, so hello and good morning. So we're starting back again, looking to see if we can do the simulation in regards to passing phase 1 and phase 2 for a 100k FTMO account. So just to give you a little idea of the trade setup here. So first things first is that news. There is medium impact news at 8:30 and 10 a.m. So this didn't incentivize me to look in the pre-session. So I'm looking at the New York Open, which is in the 9:30 a.m. for a trade setup. And as we can see here, the market opens, wicks lower, taking out sell side, did a reversal into the relative equal highs here, ran this out, and then did a reversal immediately. Originally, I anticipated this being the fake run into going into the London high, but I realized that it's just the wicks that did the damage and it was an immediate reversal. So I decided to take advantage of the typical setup in regards to a reversal pattern here to trade into here. Now, I was a bit slow in this realization, and as you can see here, the last dance FEG is right here. However, I took a market entry here in order to participate in this trade. So the ideal setup would have been entry here, stops above here, and then the trade would have been looking for that 1 to 5. Now, in this particular market, the market has been running lower for the entirety of London. So I was anticipating that the market would run higher, but it seems like it's just doing a slight reversal to continue in a downwards trend. But when it comes to like long-term targets, I honestly don't have anything in mind to hold on to the trade. So I'll simply be looking for a 1 to 5 setup, as you can see here, which is going to be trading into the last dance FEG midpoint, which is here, or more importantly, a volume imbalance. You see this gap right here? Not a volume imbalance, a liquidity void, I should say. So if you see this gap right here, so it just tapped into it. I'm looking to see it dig further into the midpoint so I can get a 1 to 5. But since it already arrived there, I'm just going to go ahead and cover any risk. And the fact that the market traded below the midpoint of this wick is a strong indicator that it's heavy and that it should trade to the midpoint. So let me go ahead and highlight this here. Let's go with white. So this is a liquidity void. So a liquidity void is just an area in the chart where there's no candles at all. It's just a massive gap, and you realize between here and here there's no candle, just a massive gap. So I'm anticipating the market to dig into the midpoint and then move from there. When it comes to like reversal, I'm willing to anticipate something along the lines of this. So trading through here, using the midpoint to trade lower into here. But we'll see what happens. Alright, so we have the bodies respecting here, and here can be another point of interest. This wick that's been created here, let's see if it does trade and close above it, or if it uses it as a launcher to go lower. If it's doing a full-on reversal, I'm willing to be stopped out in break even and then look for another re-entry here for a continuation lower. But it seems that this volume imbalance is really sensitive here, so it wasn't willing to run to the midpoint. Alright, so I've been stopped out in break even. I'll look for another short position in this FEG here, this last dance, and of course we'll be targeting the midpoint again. We're risking a single percent, so 13, let's try 39, 49, 52. Yeah, let's do with this. Let's look at a slightly higher time frame. So the last dance on this time frame would have been something like here. So it hasn't topped it as yet. So let's see how the market reacts after topping it. So it would have been something along this line. Get back to the 1 minute chart. Right now we're in the 20 minutes macro, and in this 20 minutes time frame from 9:50 to 10:10, we can anticipate the market to have a bit of momentum in regards to picking a direction and sticking with it. So I'm still looking to see if it will offer an entry back up into this last dance FEG to take price into the midpoint of the market here. Alright, so we got an entry. Now let's see if it's going to be a full-on reversal, or if this recent swing to sell side is what's driving price higher and the reversal being to target the London's high. We'll see. If this last dance FEG fails to hold and send price lower, then we'll have an indication of what the market is really saying. For the time being, I'm going to remove the entry, the execution labels off the chart so we can have a bit of clarity. So you have a strong rejection here off of the last dance FEG, which is something that we'd really like to see. Of course, there's some wicks here that should act as a support if the market is in a bullish perspective, but if it's in a bearish perspective, we can anticipate that the market will smash through it, refer back to it as support, and continue into the midpoint here. So I am of the belief that it's in a bearish perspective, so this is what I'm anticipating. I'm anticipating for the market to aggressively tear through this wick, possibly refer back to it, and then trade to the midpoint, but we'll see. Now, if you're in a one particular perspective, what you would like to see as something to give you confidence is that the opposing markers for entry or markers for a specific bias, you want to see them not respected. So as you can see here, this bullish FEG that was formed, though small, was not respected. The market closed below it, tapped back up into it once, and it's using it to send price lower. Now we're looking at the midpoint here. Now if you're in this trade, you want to see the market smash through the midpoint and not respect it like what you're seeing here. So for example, if this candle continues to, alright, so we're having a strong push, but just for example, if it continue to meander around, going back and forth, wicking back and forth, what you'd like to see is that the next 2 or 3 candles aggressively push through here and trade down to the volume imbalance. So these are the things that you want to look out for, because right now here the entirety of this body is covered by this wick, so you're looking at an area that, if it's in a bullish perspective, should be looking to send the price higher. However, if it's in a bearish perspective, this area here, the minute the market breaks and closes below here, then you'd be confident that you're on side. But as you can see here, the market is being delayed here, and it's now referring back to this inverted FEG. So what you want to do now is just stay patient and see what is happening. The minute the market breaks and might close below the midpoint here and continues lower, you can protect your stops right there. So that's what I'm waiting on right now. So let's remove here. Also have to keep in mind that in the next 4 minutes is the 10 a.m. silver bullet. the market could be accumulating in this area here, being back and forth between this inverted FEG, waiting on the kill zone to push in one particular direction or another. So we're just simply going to be waiting. This, what we're seeing here, if you're bearish, this is something that you don't want to see. The midpoint is being heavily respected and the market is pushing above this inverted FEG, so you don't want to see it break and close above here. Wicking into it is fine. Wicking into it is fine, touching the midpoint of this wick, but this is not a narrative you want to see whenever you're anticipating lower prices. So what I'm going to do is reduce my loss to break even, because what you want to keep in mind is that you want to be in market conditions where it's not allowing me to confirm. Right, so you want to be in market conditions where when you're on side, the market obviously shows that you're on side. And if you look at the trades that I took and record on this channel, whenever I'm on side, this kind of reversal never took place, right? So whenever you're in a trade and you see that the narrative that you're looking on is not being respected, and on a low resistance type of run, you would have already traded to your take profit. Don't be afraid to cover your losses, because it's the market tipping to you that whichever direction you think that you're on side, one is either you're not necessarily on side or you're trading into high resistance, and in both of those cases you're trading in low probability settings. So it's best to cover your losses and simply wait and see. So the 10 a.m. kill zone is coming up in a minute. So you have the market trading back into the last dance, rejecting off of the midpoint of this wick. What we want to see is if it's going to respect this reversal right here and take a price lower. Alright, so we're having a nice rejection there. So if the market is willing to trade back up into this FEG one more time, then I'll take the opportunity to look for a somewhat late entry. All right, let's see. 36, 46, 48. There we go. What's going on? Was it not created? Oh, I'm just having a bit of lag. So I guess that delay prevented me from being in this actual trade, but we'll see what happens. Still having a bit of rejection off of here. Alright, so I've been granted the entry. Now, within now and the next 9 minutes, what I want to see is the market actually break and close below here. That would give me the confidence to know that I am on side. It's already been testing this area multiple times in regards to rejecting back up into here, coming back down, testing back this inverted, coming back down. So I want to see it smash through it right now for me to be confident I'm actually on side. And the minute it does, I'm protecting my stop. Because if you can see here, just taking a look at it, market opens, wick down, take out buy side, take out sell side, runs up, and now it's here, 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 here. So this is really sloppy price action. So you don't want to be putting your you don't want to be putting your trading career on the line on days like this. It's okay to be careful and to cover your losses, because on the days where there's low resistance, these kinds of runs comes through smoothly, as you can see in the trades that I've shown on the channel, right? So we have a volume imbalance right here. We're looking to see the market smash through it and push. And once you have a close below there, that's when you have great amount of confidence that you're actually on side. Anyway, as we can see here, the area that was having price rejecting back and forth off of it has finally been cleared. So what we're looking for now, this here, this change in the state of delivery from this downward momentum can serve as an order block. So if I see a bit of retracement here, I would expect this to be respected to take price lower. Let's remove this volume imbalance. Alright, so we're looking for a 1 to 5, but standard deviation negative 50. This is where you can anticipate that price can possibly go. You have relative equal lows here, and I believe that is, let's see, where is Tuesday's low? This is the part that I've yet to grasp any kind of like great understanding of, is trying to anticipate, like trying to have like the larger runs, having an idea where the larger runs would be. So the market successfully dug through the midpoint of the volume imbalance. Let's see if it actually runs and give us our 1 to 5. And let us go ahead and secure some profits here. So now that it's dug through the midpoint and it's about to close below the midpoint, I don't anticipate it going back up to the top of the volume imbalance. More than likely we'll be looking at the midpoint of the volume imbalance instead as a retracement. But let's see if it actually does give us that 1 to 5. And bear in mind, this doesn't have a, well, it did actually run and top it here, but for whatever reason it didn't offer the close. Massive rejection, but it didn't offer the close there. Let's see if it taps there and actually offers it again. You know what? Okay, it did. Because that was a bit strange. Alright, so as I mentioned before, the place that you can possibly run to is here. However, as I said before, we're just looking for that 1 to 5 and that should be it. So I'm going to release this video, and this video will be on the channel, but the video afterwards will provide a lot of context as to why the account has been reset. It also will provide a lot of context as to why am I speaking in past tense. The other video will be there to cover it. So it's going to be, or I think I'll just actually upload the other video first and then upload this video. So thank you so much for watching. Have a blessed day.